you're obviously here because you have to replace the window trim on a 2018 or newer Honda Odyssey. I have the exact same issue everyone's got. The recommended replacement is to go ahead and redo the entire back window along with the trim and the clips. But we don't really have that option or that privilege because the part's 30 bucks and we're DIYers. So here we are. You've tried clipping it in, you've tried sliding it in halfway, you're afraid to break any more clips, you've gotten to an issue. And as you can see here, I've gotten to take it off. That's the easy part, but putting it back on is the trouble. So there's a strategy here that won't require any specialty tools except for pliers and a heat gun. So let's go ahead and get into it. The main issue you've probably experienced is that these clips right here have a top and a bottom. The top clip everyone gets in really easy. The bottom, unfortunately, is something that doesn't get into place. So what we're essentially gonna do is heat up the bottom clip gently, and we're gonna take a pair of needle nose pliers with some tape on it. Make sure there's a little bit of thickness to it, and you're just gonna go ahead and place it underneath. Don't push, don't get any leverage on there, just place it underneath. Heat up the zone, and as you slide it forward, you'll feel the needle nose pliers, and we're essentially closing this gap right here so that we can get that bottom piece of the metal inside to clip. Now you'll notice I've actually done it already on this part, and also over here and over here. You'll notice the gap is a little bit closed compared to over here. You can see the gap, well, hopefully you can see the gap is a little bit bigger. And I've tested and I've gotten the bottom to clip in on these two really well. So let's go ahead and try a couple of these and you can do it for yourself. Okay, so reminder, we're going in, we're putting the pliers underneath. I'm not pushing, don't put pressure on it. Just let it sit there and gently apply pressure, and the heat will move the pliers for you. So we'll go ahead and try that a little bit. Now I'm applying a little bit of pressure, and you'll feel it give when the temperature gets there. There it goes. Once the temperature's there, I'm just gonna sit and hold, wait for that clip to solidify back into this position, and I've done it. All right, so we've already heated up all the clips, and I've tested it here just to make sure I'm not crazy with giving this video to you guys. But I've done the very far clip, and I've done the middle clip. Now we're gonna look at it here on this side. So you gotta make sure, test and see that after you've heated up and let it cool down, you don't have any flexibility. You need it to be rigid, because ultimately that's what it is. So go ahead, test every piece before you start putting the trim on, and go ahead and push all of these loose clips as high up as possible. So the idea here is we have the C channel, just like this. We want to clip the bottom in first and then the top. That's how it's going to work. So let's give it a shot. We're gonna make sure that we got it. Bottom in first. Ooh, look at that. Okay. And then we got the bottom. Click that top in there and we're good to go. Okay, so we got the bottom clips installed on the three main portions, at least here. Now I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna just run the bottom, push in the clips, and after the bottom is in, then I'll make sure the top is in. You might miss a couple, but this is by far and away gonna be the best way to get the most clips actually clipped on, especially if you're avoiding the sliding method or if you're avoiding the method where you just push, push, push and hope something happens. Okay, so once you've gotten all the trim installed, you've gotten the bottom clipped in, the top clipped in, you will notice that there might be a little bit of gap between this seal. So that's fine. Now we're just gonna take the heat gun and we're going to go ahead, heat up the trim and compress it down and then let go when it cools off. That way we can close that gap and we have a clean installation. But this is on there. You can't take it off anymore like you would. And if you need to, you just pull the top first and then the bottom, opposite of how you installed it. So I want to go show you guys my most extreme example. This is what happens when you do warp the clips a little bit too much. You see I do have a panel gap right there on the seal. So I'm going to heat this area with the heat gun till it's hot to the touch, and I'm going to take a towel and push it down until it's cooled. You can see I've actually done that in several spots. Pay attention to the distance between the painted section and the chrome section, and you'll notice that you want to try and get that consistent. Here it's a lot less, so I'm gonna have to come here with the heat gun, heat up right here because there's a clip till it's hot to the touch, and then just push it in with a towel until it cools down. And you can see I've done that over here on these clips, and I have my gap expanded a little bit. And the seal, as you can see, well, let me focus, that might help. The seal did mate with the window quite well. All right, and here's the finished product. When we have already gone and we've put on the new trim, we've gotten everything in, the caps are installed, we've gone and reheated everything while the trim was on the car, and just put some pressure on so we could melt those clips back down and make an even footing across everything. So hopefully this helps. Quick summary, quick recap. You're gonna go ahead, heat the plastic clips, slide a plier in. You're not pushing, you're not putting pressure, you're not doing any of that. You're just doing it gently. If you overdo it, I overdid it. Well, once you get the trim back on, you're just gonna go ahead and put pressure onto it with a towel so you don't burn yourself until it cools down enough, and then you're going to get a beautiful finish like this. Hope this helps. Share it with people so that other owners don't have to pay $400 to replace the entire window.